video. But I want to cover all shortcuts in Blender. Now here, let's start with the ones that I've got right now. Okay, so as in the bottom left right screen, I'll just activate this. You'll be able to see what I click. Okay, middle mouse button will rotate the screen. If you use the scroll, it will zoom. If you press Control, and you basically drag the middle mouse button, it will zoom, but it will be smoother. If you left click, it will select something. If you press, if I add another object here, then if I press shift, it will include, or it will like group select, whatever term you want to call it, but it will select them both. If you press Ctrl J, you will join the two objects. If you go and press tab, it will change to edit mode. How do I separate the cube? You press P and you will get separate options. You will do it by selection. Now you've got your cube, now you've got the monkey. Okay, so if you press G, you will grab an object. You can press Z to move it on the Z axis, Y to move it along the Y axis, and X to move it on the X axis. R is to rotate on the X axis, really on the X axis, but you can rotate on the Y axis and the Z axis. If you press S, you will scale the object. Yeah, if you press Z, it will rotate, it will scale it, not rotate it, scale it on the Z axis. You press it on the X axis, scale it on the X axis, Y axis on the Y axis, and it will obviously scale it to where the to where your the origin is. Okay, so moving on from that, if you press Control, if you set origin to the geometry. If you press Control, it will snap it, as you can see, for a unit, and as you see these blocks, they're equivalent to a unit. If you press Control and Shift, well, if I do this, and then Control Shift, it will move it on smaller increments, but it will move it just the same. If you move away too far, do not know where your scene is anymore, you can press home and it will move you all the way to your scene, I guess, at the origin 00. Now if you press 5, it will change it to orthographic view. You can press it again to go back into object view. If you press 1, it will move it to the side. It's only because this isn't facing the x-axis that I say like that it is the side. So if you press 1 again, as you can see, it is the side, even though it looks like it's the front, but never mind that. If you press Control 1, it will move it to the back. If you press 7, it will move it to the top. If you press Control 7, it will move it to the bottom. If you press it 3, it will move it to what I would now call the front, even though it looks like the side. If you press Control 3, it will move it to the back. Now if you press 4, it will rotate it along the side. If you press 6, it will rotate it to the other side. If you press 8, it will rotate it up. If you press 2, it will rotate it down. If you use this, I've talked about that. If you press X, because we want to remove this cube, you're given the option if you want to delete. I will delete it. You can also just press the delete button straight up and it will just remove something. How do you move back on something? You can press Control Z and it will go back, but you can also press Shift Control Z and it will redo it. However, I just want the monkey to be here. You can press H to hide, while pressing Alt H will make everything that you've hidden come back. Now if we go back into edit mode, you can I wonder if the example will work, but you can press I to create the inset, yeah? But if you've got, you can press inset for the I for inset, and then you can press B and it will follow the border. Okay, now that that's done, you can copy an object by pressing Shift D and it will create a copy. If you press Alt D, it will create a copy, but whatever changes you make to that, it will do to the original, and whatever change you do to the original will do it to that. That is not like a normal duplication. I believe it also saves memory because all it is exactly the same thing. So it's good when you want to like build a fleet of ships and you just want it saves a lot of memory. Moving on, C is paint select. So if you press C, as you can see here, you can group select multiple things. You can press the scroll button to increase the radius of the select, and you can do it to decrease it as well. You can press the middle mouse button while this selection and you will actually deselect. You can right click to get deactivate, I guess, the selection. You can press A to select everything, and you can just click away, I guess, to remove that. Control B is how you bevel something. So if we, well, let's actually start by extruding something. So if you press E, you will extrude something. You can press Control B and it will bevel an edge. You can bevel an edge and you can do the scroll button to increase or decrease the amount of edges that you put in. Okay, so you can press Shift C to bring the cursor back to 0.00. How did I create that split? Well, you can do it by clicking on some edge or vertex, yeah? And all you have to do is press V and it will split it. If I go here, it's just a vertex, boom, but it still splits. It's just a matter of where you put your mouse button, I guess, because I want to just split it this way, but and then once I want to split it that way, so it's where you put the mouse. Oh, that man, that person's hemorrhaging. Anyway, you can choose, if I select everything with A, you can choose which type of extrusion that you want. So you can press Alt E, and as you can see here, you can extrude individual faces, yeah. I don't want that, but you can do extrude faces along normals, which will just sort of just swell it up, I guess. And you can do just extrude faces, and it will just move along some axis. How do you make something that is part of this into, you know, split apart? Press P and by the selection, boom, it's now a different object. Thank you for watching. This is just the first part, and I'll try to make it short, precise. Yeah, I'll do some more.